So that's one thing. And when I talk about smart contracts built into NFTs, basically it's just digital code that says, hey, if X and Y do this, then that happens.
So that's how we circle back to the blockchain technology itself. NFTs do not exist without smart contracts. Smart contracts do not exist without blockchain technology.
Yes. And there's one other little iota in there. Okay, so there's a cryptocurrency, which I hate the word currency. Cryptocurrency, I hate that. It should just be technology, blockchain technology called Ethereum, that basically was the first one to create these smart contracts. And so almost all NFTs currently are created through Ethereum. Okay, there's other technologies that are coming out now that kind of replicate that, and they've tried to like make it a little bit better, a little bit faster, a little bit this, a little bit that, maybe more geared towards one thing or another. So I think what will end up happening is there'll be multiple players in that game. One player will be specific to NFTs, one will be specific to something else. I'll give you another idea of how an NFT could work. What it's going to do is it's going to cut out a lot of the middlemen. And it doesn't even have to be NFT based, just smart contract based. So think of like currently you go buy a new car, you buy a truck, okay? You buy it from Chevy, and the state in which you buy that issues you a title. The title basically proves that you own that vehicle, which can be can have problems within itself. Same thing with real estate, right? There's title searches and all this stuff that happens when you buy a piece of property. The same thing can happen on a car or anything else. You have to take it places, you have to pay money to make the exchange, you have to go sit in the DMV, all these things that are issues because of the middle people. You can solve all that with a smart contract. Basically, Chevrolet can come out with an NFT for each vehicle. When you buy it, they just transfer it to you digitally right to your wallet. Within that smart contract, all the people that need to get their cut will. The state can see the records of that vehicle, who owns it, they get the tax, they can pay the taxes through that smart contract. It could all happen instantaneous. You're in the Chevrolet dealership, you buy it, they send the NFT to you, it shows up in your wallet, everything else happened behind the scenes. You don't need to go to the DMV, you don't need to go to the...
Hoorah.
Yeah, you don't have to pay your taxes at the court, at the county offices. None of that stuff has to happen. And then you cut out all these miscellaneous middle people. You don't need to go to the DMV. These people don't have to do it this way. Technology can solve those issues. Same thing with music. If I bought that album straight from Matt Poss, you don't need iTunes. You don't need them to sell you the thing because they're taking a cut of that person's...
I need a music label.
Yeah, you could self-publish or whatever.
We saw before we got an NFT blockchain that MySpace came out. It changed the entire game. That's when I think musicians really saw the opportunity to have a platform,
right,
to release their music, and nobody could say no. Since then, we've gotten smarter as a society. We got SoundCloud. Artists like Post Malone,
right,
like blew up over SoundCloud.
You see it happening on TikTok. We talked about that in an episode.
That's right.
Where people are basically giving the music away free to be used for the exposure, which sells albums.
But now we're attaching a dollar amount to it and a contract that says A, B, and C. If you sell, this is what happens, right? This is what you get.
Right.
If you sell it, I'm going to get a cut.
Yeah.
They're going to get what they want. Nice knowing you. Next NFT, here we go.
Yeah. So there'll be a ton of businesses that will be created with this kind of technology. And I'll kind of mention some others for those that aren't aware, but there's... digital hosting. So you name it. If you need, Photo Bucket used to be a thing where you'd keep photos because you didn't want to store them on your hard drive. Or the big thing now is AWS, Amazon Web Services. People don't realize Amazon makes a ton of money through selling stuff online, but they make a ton of money just through hosting data for companies. So they're the middle person, right? You got a company that sends the data over, needs to have it housed somewhere. AWS does that. That company pays a premium to host that service, right? Whether it's like a website, it could be really anything.
Sure.
That will go away. It's gonna let average people like you and I participate in that. So we use our hard drive space. We basically download the technology that's needed to run that service, and then somebody wants to host a file. It takes that file, it breaks it up into millions of fragments. Most of them are redundant fragments. So the same fragment will be redundant. So that way, if I shut my computer off, that person could still get their stuff because somebody else has a copy of the same fragment that I had, right? And then instead of them paying Amazon Web Services to host that file or those photos or whatever it is, they pay me in the native coin. Coin's a horrible word, but they pay me through that service. They're paying to host the files, and I get paid to hold them.
Right.
The great thing about that is if you have, say, an app or a website, and Amazon Web Services is hosting that site for you, and you do something politically that they don't agree with, guess what? They can shut you down. They can basically say, we're not going to service you anymore. They can
See it
cut you
every
off.
day.
Yeah. Through what I'm talking about, you can't do that because if I don't, first of all, I don't know whose stuff I'm holding. If I'm participating in that network, I don't know whose information I'm holding. And if I did, even if I shut my laptop and turned it off, those fragments are everywhere.
Right.
So it basically gives you freedom from being, cut off by the man or whatnot, however you want to put that.